Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
What's going on?
What is going on? I don't know, man. I'm all chill from vacation.
Still?
I had no. Well, I had kind of. I had not kind of. I had a really busy day today, but just I'm sleeping in a little bit. I'm dragging my butt a bit. When I'm going,
Do that every day.
But when I'm going, I'm going, and then but right now I feel like when I'm not going, I'm really not.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like when I'm really not going. But
Nothing wrong with that. It's only January 3rd.
I know.
Right? There's no panic. Where are you going?
Man, so many places.
Mañana.
So many places to go, So
Exactly.
many things.
But it's all mañana. No worries. Always tomorrow.
How about you? How are things?
Good.
Yeah?
It's good, man. Yeah. I mean, we painted the bar yesterday, which was nice.
Cool.
Nice and clean.
Yeah.
Some tidying up there. Today I was out with my two vitamin folks.
Yeah.
Awesome day.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's a world full of opportunities. Just a world full of opportunities.
That's amazing. You're helping him. Hopefully you're helping him turn it around. Is it who we were talking about before? Or?
Yeah. I think we're going to have to sit and talk, which is sort of what I sent you today.
Yeah.
I sent you that text.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot to do on that one, right? And it's just, oh, God bless him. I love him so much, man.
So Kenny and I are talking about this guy. We won't talk about him out in the open,
nice,
but
right?
But great guy, runs a company with lots of potential, but kind of pointed in the wrong direction a little bit.
Yeah.
He's, despite the fact that he's pointed in the wrong direction, I think he's getting some momentum and kind of growing a little bit. But I think when I look at him, and I think I'm reading your face, so you can fill in the details.
Yeah.
But he just, sometimes like people have great businesses, and you just gotta get them focused on the right things, right? So is that kind of
the thing is, because I tell you what,
yeah,
heart's all in the right place. He's got some ideas.
Yeah.
Right. Really wants it to go.
Yeah.
It's just it's a bit of a marketing, I think, more than anything. It's just that's the
yeah,
sort of spot that's going to be the issue. So I think it's going to be a matter, and this is something we're going to have to talk about. We can talk about it on air. We're not going to say who it is.
Yeah.
But one of the things we're going to have to do is take a look at it's almost we're going to have to start from honestly from ground zero.
Yeah.
What we've got is we've got a product line that I think his aspirational goals would be to become a family type product, definitively focusing on young moms in general, moms to be. So that's going to skew a little bit younger, probably 25 to let's say 35-ish, maybe 40.
Yeah.
And then the aspects of all the family that goes around that type of thing.
Yeah.
The challenges, I'm going to say it this way because I think people should hear this, because I think this is stuff you need to kind of think of when you're doing a business.
Yeah.
All his analytics show that if you're trying to attract a 25 to 40-year-old, we're doing a really good job attracting a 65 to 100-year-old.
Yeah.
So all the marketing we're doing is attracting a completely different group than what we're aspiring to attract.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, but what I'll tell you what happened and why you got sort of the text. And he was in front of me, so he knows I was doing this and we were talking about it. Is wants to do a video for mainly for the Asian market, I think, because I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I mean, we'll be very generalist here. I'm sure, you know, we've done racist segments before. So I mean, what's the difference? You know, who are we going to
Start
shop
the year
here?
right. Woo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go big or go home,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're looking at sort of the Asian market to export into the Asian market, have them import your products, especially from North America, is one I think most would prefer to have North American and or some European countries because the trust level of what they in some ways reality and in some ways perceive as
Mm-hmm.
being better comes from here,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the only way to do that is you can't just put made in Canada, made in France, and away you go. They want to know, is there history? How long have you
Yeah.
been in business? How long's the
Yeah.
brand been in business? Is
Yeah.
there distribution? And not just bullshit Amazon distribution. Are
Yeah.
you in stores?
No. No.
Because
Real.
that's
Yeah.
all important to that market
Yeah.
because it further promotes the trust
Yeah.
that, okay, yes, you are what you say you are. You're Canadian. I know you're more regulated than what I have back in my
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
But okay, but you're in the market and people know your brand and brands are big in Asia, as you know.
Yeah.
Like people like brands.
Yeah.
And that's why they knock off brands, right? They just love brands, especially big
Yeah.
brands.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what happened, we started going down that path and I said, listen, I said, the only challenge with rushing into doing this video, I get why we're doing the video. I said, but you know, if our core goal is at 25, 35, 25, 40,
Yeah.
you know, you're talking about interviewing the founder of the company who's now close to 80. You're talking about the previous people who were in here. And I said, all they're going to talk about, or all they're going to do is going to date this even further.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, about the history. Yes, in terms of, okay, 40 some years. Wow, cool founders, understand it, good enough. Now tell me the story. Like,
Yeah.
now, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far back in time you have to go to make this a valid proposition. Because I said, if we go the way we're going, all we're doing is solidifying the fact that we are geared toward 55, 60 plus.
Yeah.
So I said, you got to really think of this. I said, if you want to do this, I have no issue in it. But if we're going to do a video, I don't want to focus on this history aspect as much as I want to focus on, you know, the cool stores that we are in now. Sure, talk about the history.
So
do
he
some
wants
stuff.
the
It's
video
awesome.
to acquire this kind of 25 to 40-year-old.
Well, I think ultimately that's where the company needs to be and wants to be. But I just think
Where's
this
he gonna
rushed
use the video?
video was going to be going down a different path.
Yeah.
And it's not going to match the overall marketing of what you wanted the marketing to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
Sort of.
yeah. No. I mean, I guess it's a classic case of, look, like what's hot in the market right now is, you know, in content marketing is to do video and be more engaging.
Absolutely. And
you know,
someone's probably
cool,
said that.
You know, and so, yeah, you want to do it, but he doesn't have the base for it, right? Like you don't have an audience that's looking at that.
Do you see what I mean? And that's what I brought back. I said,
Yeah.
you know our audience. I said, Phil is Senior Analytics. Who's our audience? And he looked at me and said, exactly. I said, 60 plus. He goes, yeah. I said, why are we going to talk about prenatal vitamins?
Yeah.
With a group that's 25 years past childbirth. Right. And I said, if the whole company really right now, if all the marketing is geared toward those people, I said, even your listing base, if you look at stores, is going to be skewed old. I said, if we want to do this, I have no issue doing it. But I think we need to really sit down and say, okay, maybe we should take a look at who we really want to be when we grow up, have the video reflect that.
Yeah.
And start going forward. And let's now put a marketing program into play, a marketing strategy, figure out who our personas are. Who are we? Who do we talk to?
Yeah.
How do we talk to them?
Yeah.
Right. And if the 25 to 45 is who we really want to go after, then we need to start talking to them. And I think every single item in the product range can lend to that group, just not the way they're marketing it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you know, it's good advice. I mean, you really don't want to spend the kind of cash that you need to spend on a good video and then find out like nobody's watching it.
Cost
right?
you? 7 to 10? 7 to 12?
I think it's a bit cheaper now. Like I think you can
Okay.
get into, but
Five
not
to
a
eight.
ton cheaper, like 4 to 6 ish.
Okay. Still
Um,
4 to 6 is still
and
a chunk of
that's
change.
probably for like a 2.5 minute spot.
Yeah.
But that's a good chunk of change for something that no one's going to watch.
Yeah.
Because nothing's in isolation, right? Like, so for listeners, we've Kenny and I have kind of circled this a little bit, and he's working with Kenny now. But I think I was kind of hard on him with analytics when he sent me his numbers. When he sends me his numbers, what we see is exactly what we've been talking about, is that he's got, you know, a really old base, right? And he's spending a good chunk of change on, all sorts of marketing mechanisms, whether it's social media or otherwise, to attract an audience. But it's almost like he, it's like he can't change that spout, right? Is that he's got this, 60-year-old coming in to buy stuff. Um, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Exactly.
shoot a magic commercial and say, this is it, right? Like this 2.5 minute spot is going to change everything for us, right? You really need to kind of go back and do all the elements and get it right.
And I think you do. And I think sometimes the more you talk about it. So
Yeah.
I showed him the video that those students did of me for the coffee bar.
Yeah.
I said, what I want to do is, I said, if you take a look at that, I said, the reason for that video was, at one time we wanted to attract more millennials to the bar. But the reality is, the way we conduct our business, the way our brand is in the market, the
Mm-hmm.
coffee company,
Mm-hmm.
the bar goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, where we have the coffee listed and probably who we're talking to is not really a millennial,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
probably going to be a Gen Xer and probably into a baby boomer.
Yeah.
So I said, when I did the discussion with the kids about what the bar was about, I said, to make it authentic, it needed to come from me. And I'm not a millennial, right? But I
Yeah.
can tell you why the bar started and what we want to do. And the bar is really all about the neighborhood
Yeah.
and making it a place for the neighbor to hang out and to be a part of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not that's what it had to be. Now, if you want to do so if you go into the bar, for example, it will sort of match more. Like, I think it's got a cool vibe to it, but I don't think we're ever going to attract really young millennials. There's so many when they speak a different language and it's different.
Yeah.
But we can get in our bar probably a lot of people in that 35 to 55, which is just good by us.
Yeah.
Right. It's probably the right group. It fits us better. It's more comfortable for us. Like, it just fits.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then all your marketing, all the important things to that group is what you talk to.
And you start and you say things in the way that a 35 to 50, like that's probably
exactly. I can't
so
talk
critical to the process, right? Like, yeah.
You watch Modern Family?
What's that?
You watch Modern Family periodically?
Here and there, yeah.
Okay, well, the father, Phil Dunphy, is exactly what we would be if we tried to be a millennial. The dumbass shit that he says just kills you because the kids always, I know I laugh at it because my kids always say I'm Phil.
Yeah.
I'm Phil Dunphy. And I said, you guys honestly go, well, you're cute, Dad. It's okay to be Phil Dunphy. I said, yeah, but he looks like a loser.
Yeah.
Goes, well, sometimes, Dad, you still say the right things.
Oh, man. I know. I'm not allowed to use, the word lit.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use that. That's
I'm not allowed to use that word. So I actually.
I think one time you wrote nice, nice.
Yeah,
noise. You're not allowed to use that either.
Yeah.
Don't do
no,
that.
I'm allowed to use nice because I know how to use it, but lit is literally
even
beyond.
Nice, though, you know what? It's not the fact you know how to use it. Look at you.
I know.
You're not that guy.
But it's just not, and I'm not allowed to use lit anywhere. Well, partly one, because I don't understand how to use it. And then two, it's like...
yeah, it's like, Dad, like, seriously? Seriously, Dad?
Yeah.
It's not that you are the loser. You're making us look like the losers.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
I know. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I hope you help him get turned around. He really does have a great brand. Okay. All right. We.
Yeah. No, what we're going to do is, honestly, like, and I, and he wanted me to talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to each other. We don't have to talk online, but it's good online because it's good content for other people to understand.
Yeah.
This is the shit that really goes on in the real world of business. Yeah. But no, he wants to talk. And I said, listen, what I'll do is I'll talk to Phil. and we really need to stand or start at ground zero. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
The video is important and it
Yeah.
needs to be expedited.
Yeah.
But I said, really, we should sit first and really try to figure out a relatively tight, clean-ish brand strategy. What do we want to do?
Yeah.
I said, it'll take us months.
Yeah.
The category is the category. I mean, there's enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then I said, then we film a video within those contexts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, that's the group we want to go after. But then I said, we have to look at all we do.
Yeah.
I said, your web page needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Your social mediums need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Your Google search or how people find you. I said, all needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Because we went through the web page. I said, your web page isn't bad looking. I said, but if people are finding you via the content, guess who you're talking to again? So I said, it's not, the content's wrong.
Yeah.
You're not, the people that you want aren't searching for the words you have buried into this arena. It's not resonating.
Well, and I think the thing is like once we get that stuff sorted out, the video gets easier because
100%.
You're all of a sudden driving the right audience, which means along the way, hopefully what you're finding is someone that you go, oh crap, she should be in the video, right?
Exactly.
Like we, this lady showed up because we found her, she bought the product, she loves the product, she should be in the video. How do we do that? And then that stuff starts to happen, right? So, which is pretty.
Now, if he's looking for a younger Asian market, like we're talking, HK in the mainland.
Yeah.
And if you want that 35 to 45-year-old, which there's a boatload of them there. I mean, obviously the population base is massive.
Yeah.
Then what they want to aspire to is the same person here.
Yeah.
Just here.
Yeah.
I said, but again, the way we talk, we're going to potentially have a young person talking, but the whole brand screams grandmother.
Yeah.
I said,
it really
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a project that we actually have to start talking about or trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe take it from ground zero.
Yeah.
Now the rest of this we can take offline, but it was just one of those ones. I guess what I'm trying to show people is, the idea is great, and I think a video would be very cool, and I get it all.
Yeah.
But as a contractor, I'm there and thinking, man, no.
Yeah, I think you could. I think as contractors, you could literally go, sure, I'll help you shoot a video.
I could. Listen, I can phone a bunch of people right now. Get a video done.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. But,
what
at the end of it, at the end of it, when they go, oh my God, I sank like, $6,000 plus all the marketing, the support that goes around it. I sunk $10,000 into this. I didn't get anything, I think that's what makes us different, right? Because, not all contractors are bad people. I just think that you and I are in that place where we go, listen, dude,
well, you know what it is? He's more of a friend too, right? Or I want, I like him. I like him. He's a nice guy. And I don't want to,
I don't want to.
I can make some money on everything. But,
yeah. But it's not,
there's ways to make money and ways that I just don't want to make money. And that's just a way I don't want to make money.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you.
Right?
Yeah. That's exciting. That'll be fun.
Well, get ready. Buckle up because we're probably going for the ride.
Okay.
Just got to figure out how the hell to do it. But it's fine.
Yeah, there's some interesting pieces in there for sure.
Yeah, and then for that, the other social media stuff, you have some folks in Ontario want to use. Who did the video? I made have another school project that can tie into it.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah,
we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
The rest we can talk offline. It was just more to give people when a listen to is sometimes help.
Yeah. No, that's
how
cool.
Things go and
that's so cool.
Hit the brakes.
Yeah. Very cool.
Hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently you're still on holiday mode. So what the hell have you done this week?
You know what? I've actually got a lot of things going on. I've been sorting. I'm streamlining my life a little bit. So I'm cutting back a little bit on Centennial. I was supposed to teach 3 courses this semester. I'm going to teach 1.
You're gonna full-time teacher if you're not careful. Huh?
Yeah. So I'm going to dial it back. I'm going to
Seriously.
teach one. I had to teach one online, and then the other two I've given away already, or given back to Centennial so they can redeploy and have somebody else do them.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do, I almost never talk about it, but I do some coaching for a couple of organizations. The guys that do, so Jack Canfield, who does Chicken Soup for the Soul, and some of those guys. I do some coaching, so he lands clients that he needs people to coach for. So I'm one of his coaches. So I've got a couple of mentees that are looking to build e-com businesses. So I'm helping them, coaching them through. So I got to get those guys kind of dialed up and going. So I've been working on that. I also landed. They're kind of cool, but they're really weird and very niche. So the company's called Nymi, NYMI, and they do. Mm-hmm. At first blush, they look like a smart watch company, but they are not. They're actually a security encryption company. So they do bio encrypted security with a watch that looks like a smartwatch, but really reads your electro. They're called Nymi, NYMI. One of my jobs is to fix exactly what you're about to Google, because all of their online stuff kind of points to a watch. But really what they are is they're an encrypted company. So they do some really neat bio encryption stuff that reads fingerprints, matches it with your
enterprise authentication.
Yeah.
Okay, well that took me to that.
Yeah. So
where's the watch?
Should be there as well, unless they've done some work over the holidays. But a lot of it points to watch type stuff.
Oh, there's the watch now.
Yeah. So everyone thinks that they're a watch company, even though they're not. They're really enterprise. Security. They use it for manufacturing facilities and all sorts of things like that.
Oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very niche, but helping them, one, figure out how to fix some of that perception stuff. They get a lot of phone calls of people that say, hey, we'd like to buy your watch and use it with other things, but it's not really what they do, right?
Well, so the watch is obviously all meant for this.
Yeah, it's really a delivery mechanism, right?
You got the cannabis industry exploding.
Yeah.
Because some of the aspects of this, of what the pictures show, is lab work, et cetera, where you want security and you want some numbnuts going into that. The other aspect where it might be kind of cool. I mean, I'm not to say to do this, obviously, but that in BC or Lower Mainland, Transit came out with a wristband that was sold so people could use the transit. But they did 5,000 wristbands, and I can't remember what they were, $10 or $20, sold out within hours. Yeah. Right. But something that's actually a little slicker to watch, like that is a watch, but could also be linked in potentially to that world. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about I mean, seriously, that is. Yeah. No, then if you're a transit, now if you, no, I'm not going to people freaking out about data, but shit, if you could start figuring out how, like, people are using your transit within neighborhood, like, oh my God, you could go loony tunes with that one.
Cool shit. It's cool shit. So
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
awesome.
I'm going to do some work with these guys, and pretty excited about that. That'll be pretty fun. And then so the other thing that pops up every spring, because I go and I speak at Global Pet every year, but I'm writing an article for a pet magazine. I've just gotten 2 more requests for interviews with pet magazines. So every year around spring,
awesome. Great category.
Pet loses its mind, which is really funny. So, so I've got a bunch of that stuff on the go as well. So
great categories though. Pet's awesome.
Oh, I love Pet. We're working on it too. So my youngest daughter figured out how to do this. So she pitched us. She actually put together a deck and pitched us why we should have a dog. I know. She actually did, she did the whole PowerPoint thing and everything. So now we've got a jar we're saving for a dog. I had her research what the average cost of a dog is, and she looked it all up, and she said, first year cost if you buy a dog from a breeder is like $2,000. With like health costs and all that stuff in there. So we're now raising funds for that, right? So it's
good for them, right?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So
Wow.
yeah. So
House. Holy
I
shit.
know. So so we're on this path now, but anyway, so yeah, I'm up to all sorts of really kind of neat stuff. Kind of interesting.
Cool shit though. That your stuff's fun though, right? It's more like my stuff is still pretty old school. Your stuff's got some cool, like high techy, just cool shit, right?
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. I think I mean, this is part of why I like it, right? Is you think of where I was in September of last year. I was doing all this teaching, and I had all this other stuff on the go, and now you look, so from September to January, it's really only 4 months, right? But the mix of my job has changed, or what I think my the mix for the next 4 months is going to change. The clients change, like all sorts of things are different now. And I think and I think
that's
it's
what usually
cool,
happens.
right? Like
when you start doing thinking,
yeah,
that sounded like a cool thing. I don't know if I like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as I thought it was. This other shit's cool.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the beauty of sort of doing what we do. It's funny. I talked to someone last week who was it's been in the industry for a long time too, as a marketing person, and working for somebody, and reached out because I think again, because when you're stupid enough to leave a job at 50, is you sort of become, I think they all wait. Okay, if 2 years later he still seems to be alive, obviously eating, because he definitely hasn't lost any weight, maybe there's something to this thing, because if that bozo can do it, hey, there's some odds in this game. So I get a lot of bar visits where I sit down and they'll say, okay, well, what do you, and I tell them, say, listen, I said, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. I said, what you need is you got to be perseverant. Yeah. Right. You got to use your contacts. Yeah. And you've got to just be willing to get 700 no's. But you just keep plugging this and just be persistent. I said, but there is stuff out there, especially if you're good at what you're doing. If if you've developed a reputation, which most, these people have in their respective fields. I said, there is lots of work out there, and it's cool work.
But you know what? The only thing I'm like you, right? Like having crossed over from, when I crossed from brand to retailer, and then retailer to startup, and then startup to freelancing, like all of those were, like in the industry, even you and I crossing from, the big company world into freelancing is something that's rare, and it's becoming more common. But
it's common now, isn't it?
Kenny, honestly, I think it's not as common as we think it is.
I seem to think everybody wants to do something like this now.
Everybody wants it. And so I think the door knockers that you get, that I get, are people that want to do it. And then I would say that out of the, kind of 10, 15 people I get every month, kind of knocking on doors and trying to figure out how we do what we do, maybe one of them goes freelance, and most of the rest of them go
back to work.
Yeah, they go back to work because they realize
that's not a critique.
No. There's no critique there. I just think, I think, we call ourselves dummies and we kind of do this stuff, but to do what we do, you do kind of have to have a bit of a stronger gut for anxiety and some of those things while you figure out what it looks like. Right. So,
because again, I mean, there's no steady.
No.
Right. Well, the only thing that's steady is, I don't know. Even Thursday night's not steady because we've moved this and you can't record sometimes. So there's really no steadies in the world.
There are no steadies in the world now.
Sooner or later it happens, but it just may not happen when you want it.
Yeah. And
maybe you're right. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I really don't think, again, I don't think what we do is massively complicated, or not doable by. I mean, again, I think a lot of it, I mean, if you don't have any expertise, it's tough to do anything. But if you've got an expertise in an area, there's room out there. There really is.
but
it's hard to find good people.
Yeah.
It's hard to find
Yeah.
people you can trust. Is and there's a lot of good people out there who want help.
Yeah.
They may not be able to
I think
pay
it's also the
tons.
talent of finding out how to extract data, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of people in corporate worlds where they know the jobs and they know them very well, right? And God bless them because they know their jobs. But then when you take them out of that environment, drop them in a new one, they don't know how to pull out the factoids they need from the jobs that they've done to be able to go and apply it, right? And so I think there are moments there, but
maybe you're right.
I think I just gave us an awkward pat on the back.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying. I guess it's one of those. Well, because we're not good at that either, right? Because it's not really what it's about.
Pretty terrible at it, actually.
It's kind of like seriously. I mean, I figure man, if I could do it, I mean, anybody could do it. I really do. I'm not even disbelieve that. So. I think if you just it's a lot of it. You just got to nut up and just sort of do it. Easy to say. I talked a long time about doing. I finally did. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Now and again, if you don't have, you got to be able to buy some time.
Yeah.
Because as I learned too, I mean, it didn't happen nearly as fast as I thought it would. Mm-hmm. And there were points in there I thought this is obviously not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. This is. I mean, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, before you know it, it's bada bing, bada boom. You're thinking, okay, shit, this is going to slow down a little bit because, we're using the word freelance, and now I'm going to sound like Kent. Maybe we should be forming an agency because there's so much stuff out there, and there are people that are just looking for good, honest help.
Yeah,
and apparently it's a little harder to find. Than what you think.
I think so. I'm on that path. I don't want an agency, but I think you and I are actually trailblazing this one because I don't think a lot of people do this. I think what we really want to be is a node along the way.
100%.
And so I'll use Rachel Farewell, who we've talked about on the show, and I've given a free plug, and God, I love that girl. She's amazing. But what I love is, she wants to get on the path of being a freelancer, but she didn't know how to do it. Right. And so, I just said to her, well, listen, like, here's some things you can do, right? Like, here's some things you can do. Here's some things you can do. And so when you start chucking enough stuff at her, all of a sudden now we're in business together. We're doing stuff together. We share a bunch of stuff, and now she's freelancing. And I feel like we are, so I finally got around to listening to Kent's episode, and he is the smart guy who's ridiculously young.
I told you. He's too smart.
He's too smart to be a 32 or 33-year-old. Like,
he talks like he's 90. I don't think I like Kent anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But Kent, you're ridiculous. Whatever you do in life, you're going to be amazing. Oh, I also wrote him a LinkedIn recommendation. Just because I literally did it while I was listening to his podcast while he was talking about not thinking about so Kent, go in and accept the LinkedIn recommendation that I wrote you. But I think that we're on a slightly different path where as you start to tie these nodes together, I don't think you need an agency these days. What I think you need is a network of trusted people like you and I. We trust each other. I trust Rachel. We trust Shanae.
Absolutely. Production. I trust Linda.
Linda owns all of us.
Looking around at people you trust. Listen, there cannot be an episode without Linda. Okay.
No, Linda owns this whole thing. She's like the godmother of the whole thing.
Oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And then sooner or later, I feel like we're going to pay the price for that.
She's like Oprah. She just owns the whole thing. So, but anyway, but
you're right. And then what you do is, I don't care to be involved in any of it. Outside of, hey, do you know somebody? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Right. And again, as long as that person who's asking for the help finds good help with our contacts, that's awesome. Now, if we can benefit from it, that's good too.
Yeah, that's great too. Yeah.
But if the worst benefit is that we just help somebody out, quite frankly, that's
okay too. Yeah.
That's better than okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
and again, I think that kills the agency though. See, so ultimately, maybe we are like, where is the, if you get enough shitheads like us out there doing this, what does that do for the agencies? Because we don't need the overhead. We don't have to, you know what I mean? Costs become it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
To bug some of us, and and if as long as we can all work together here and there, but we're all freelancing.
But I think big companies will always want agencies.
I get that, but you know what? Big companies. How many big companies do you know anymore? We know a lot, so that's not what I mean. If you go back to the the Fortune 500 of 15 years ago to the Fortune 500 today, there's still 500, but there's not a whole shit behind to get on the 500 because there's not a lot of big companies. Every time there's a big company, one bigger guy takes them. There's a boatload in the middle, though.
But I'm okay with that, right? So
I love that.
if agencies want to live in that top Fortune 500,
that's all they've got.
I'm good, right? Because I don't want that business, right? Like
I have no desire for it.
Yeah. I mean,
my point is that pool is getting smaller.
Yeah.
Yes, the contracts are huge, and yes, they'll probably always want an agency.
Yeah.
But you're an agency, let's say, that does J&J. How are you going to do Betty's, toy emporium?
Mm-mm.
And Betty might have 10 locations, and Betty's a good little size.
Yeah.
But they're looking, thinking, well, shit, man.
Yeah.
Our overhead.
Yeah.
Just the lights. Never mind the overhead. The overhead is we can't do it. We can't even pitch on that type of business.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of agencies left that can do small guys. They are mostly all focused. It seems into higher, bigger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like where we are. I like the way we're positioned, and it'll be interesting, really. We're
going to come up for a new word now. So we're not going to be freelancers completely. Didn't even know how an agency. So what is it?
No, I don't know. I don't know what we are.
Disruptor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think of us like a node, but I don't.
Ask Kent if we can be disruptive. That's sort of disruptive.
Can we be disruptive? I don't know. Yeah, well,
I want to be disruptive or a disruptor. See, tell Kent to figure out a way to make us a disruptor. Give shit how he does it. Just he talks all the cool shit. I don't know. I want him to say, those two guys, they're like disruptors or something.
Yeah, you want a cool word for us.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I
think
I
don't think there's a lot of people that do it.
Yeah. I think if you're out there and you're listening to us, if you're going to be in this,
I think people,
let us know and see what we can do, right? Like reach out so we can include you in the node, and then figure out how we tie you to things, right?
Love.
Yeah.
Because I think what the challenge you have in today's world is I think you and I talked about this a while ago. It's such a world of, if I do something for you, that means I expect you to do something for me. Right.
Yeah.
And when you get into those payback type worlds, this doesn't work. I mean, what we do, I don't think is the norm. And I think the reason there's not is what people are scared. Like the shit that we talk about on this, that people times where I've gone back and I just listened to what we talked about, most because I can't remember the hell we've talked about, is if you go back and listen.
Yeah.
Well, because we don't rehearse, so it's not like I can go back and go, hey, script for episode 35. I don't remember what 35 is about.
Yeah.
I read your caption, I'm thinking, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at it, sometimes the little bit of free tidbits that we throw out, I mean, you could pay thousands of dollars because the person is so freaked out about the knowledge, about giving their knowledge for free.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to saying, you know what, whatever.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I like it.
Yeah. Tell Kent we need a new definition. We don't want to be an agency or a freelancer anymore.
We need a cooler name than a node.
Yeah, we need a cooler name. First off, he's younger. Okay, bottom line.
Yeah.
He's definitely smarter than me. Maybe on par with he was smarter than me. So this is his job.
Kent. It'd be interesting to see where that guy goes. I'll be interested to see what happens to him.
He'll end up on some freaking magazine cover before he knows.
Yeah, he'll be on Fortune. He'll be driving a Tesla before he knows.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, I love it.
It's all good, man.
I love
all
it.
good in the hood.
Yeah.